Hello everyone, today I have come up with the very beautiful beachside sunset video. So get ready with your materials and let's paint it together. Let's start by quickly outlining the basic division on the canvas by using a very light pencil. As if you draw with a dark pencil, you might end up making your acrylics look dull as the graphite would blend along with the acrylics. Once we are done with the basic drawing, now we'll start painting. Let's begin with the sky first. Applying all the blue shades in the sky, we will eventually blend them all together, as I've done in my previous videos as well. While blending, keep in mind what all tones you want in your sky in whichever area and try to maintain the same in the very first layer. Moving further, we will now add a basic tone of orange for the sunset view that we are trying to create. After understanding and painting the basic tones that we want in the sky, we now move forward painting the water area. As we all know, water is very reflective in nature and will always reflect whatever is there in the sky above it. Hence, you will always notice the water will always be of the same color as that of the sky, as it always reflects the shades of the sky. Moving forward, we will now paint the sand area that is somewhat grey in color in my reference picture. After painting the sand area, we will now move forward to the rocks that are dark brown or black in the shade. The technique that I'm using here right now is called the blocking technique, in which we kind of block the areas as per the shades that we see in the reference picture. That way we can bifurcate the whole landscape easily. After we are done with the basic blocking of the shades, we will now start with giving the detailings in the sky. By putting the darker tones and the lighter tones in the sky, we now start to blend them all together so that it creates a very realistic view of the sky. Here I'm using a medium-sized mop brush to blend all the shades, but you can use any flat brush or round brush that you have, both for blending and application. Flat brushes might create a very harsh or a strong line in comparison to the round brushes. Hence, for the sky, I would suggest you to use the round brushes rather than flat brushes. Moving further, now we will add some darker tones to the clouds, somewhat close to the purple and brown shade. Here you can see I'm working in multiple layers that will provide a very chic and a very translucent kind of look to my sky. That way I will be able to achieve more realistic look. It is okay to leave some texture in the sky, as we are trying to create a bit of dramatic one rather than a plain one. Moving forward, now let's add more details to the sun area, that is the orange shade. Feel free to pause the video and take your time to paint each subject clearly, because I have fast forwarded the video for you to have a quick outcome rather than keeping it very slow. As we move forward, now I'm painting the second tone of the rocks, that is the darker shade of green that I've prepared. Here I'm using the slow drying acrylic colors by Golden, because of which I'm giving some time for the lower layer to dry up and then proceed with applying another layer to it. If you think that your lower layers are drying up quickly, as major acrylics dry up quickly, so you can apply the next layer to it as soon as possible. After doing the stones in the stand area, I have now started to work on the water area, following the same method of going from back to front. I have started to add depth to the line of horizon first. The best part about working in acrylics is you can always work on something that you don't like and reapply the layer of paint on it to create something or to correct something. Whereas in other mediums, it is quite difficult. Moving forward, now I will again start to work on the sky and start giving more details to it, as the lower layer has kind of dried up fully. I mostly work from dark to light in terms of acrylics, as it helps me to build the better gradient of the shades that I want in my sky. Blending the tones in the sky with a soft round brush would give you a more realistic approach to it. Putting more darker shades to the orange tone in the sun above and working further with the yellow and purple shades around the sun, we will now blend them all together to create a more dramatic sky. After completing the orange part, we will now give the final depths to this cloud area near the sun. Once the sky area is done, we now move forward to the water area and add the major depth to the line of horizon first. After this, I would like to work on the mountain area which is just beside the line of horizon. This will be my third and final tone to the mountain area, as I'm gonna make all the details of the foliage this time. To create these very small foliage and tree branches, here I'm using a very thin round long brush. If you are someone who loves to paint the tree branches and nature oriented things, then I would definitely suggest you to buy this one if you don't have it already. This is actually one of my favorite brushes, as I love to paint the tree branches and the nature that I see around myself. After we are done with the foliage area in the mountains, we now move forward to the water area besides it. To paint the water area, I'm gonna be using the technique of very small strokes by my brush, with both the darker and the lighter shade that I want in my water. By putting small strokes, you will be able to achieve the texture that you can see in the water area. To understand the shades and tones of the water carefully, I would suggest you to observe your reference image carefully and decide on the shades you want by yourself. I will be attaching the link to this reference image below for your reference. You don't need to copy each and every stroke and shade that is provided in your reference image, but you just need to understand the basics of the lights and shadow that is there in your image. That way you will be able to achieve a very realistic looking artwork and at the same time maintain your personal touch to it by playing around with some strokes and texture around the same. Adding some final highlights and some lighter tones to the water. We will now move forward with the front portion of the water. Adding some basic tones to the front area, we will now apply the second tone to the sand area to the left. While painting any landscape, just keep in mind about the light and shadow projected in each area. If you are able to maintain and execute that part in your landscape painting, then your outcome can never go wrong. And once again, I would like to tell you, you can always pause the video and do your work very carefully and slowly as per your own speed, as I have personally fast forwarded the video for you guys to have a quick look of my procedure. So wherever you feel that you need to give more detailing and depth, you can always pause the video and take your own time. Giving further details to the front area, the front water waves, we now move forward with creating the shadow part that is reflected in the water by the sun. After we are done with the water area, we now move forward in creating and applying the final shades to our rocks in the sand area. For giving all the final touches and highlights and depth to my painting, here I'm using a round small brush by Princeton. And as I say in my previous videos as well, that if you have any kind of question or doubts in your mind, you can always write an email to me or comment below, and I will definitely reply to the best of my abilities. So thank you so much everyone for watching the whole video with me and painting along with me. I'm sure you enjoyed the whole process, and I would love to know your reviews or any comments, so please write to me. And if you liked it, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more such content in the future. Thank you so much. Bye bye and enjoy.